As our global demand for power increases, so does our pollution, with energy-related CO2 emissions expected to rise by 50% in the next 15 years. Now, supplying that increasing demand with finite and polluting fossil fuels is unsustainable, and the cleaner, renewable alternatives face criticism for being inconsistent. Now, the vast majority of our planet is covered with constantly moving oceans and currents, and that represents a huge potential resource for renewable energy. I'm Russell Beard in Northern Ireland to see how a new technology that magnifies the power of the ocean may be turning the tide in the search for comprehensive and cost-effective ocean power.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, really well.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for meeting us. So you're going to teach us a little bit about the tides.
Probably most people know that the moon plays some sort of a role on tidal changes and tidal water levels. I can draw a couple of sketches to explain this. So if we basically have the Earth just here,
right,
and we have the moon some distance away, somewhere here.
Yeah.
So what we actually have is two bodies which have a very, very large mass, and therefore they're actually attracted to each other through gravity. Now, because the Earth is actually covered with water, we find that some of the water that is on this side here gets attracted towards the moon.
Right.
And what we end up with is actually a bulge, an elevated water level over on this side.
That is a high tide here.
Yes,
is that right?
Correct.
The Earth's gravitational force pulls the moon around it, causing one tidal movement. But the moon's own gravitational force also has an additional effect on the rotation of the Earth.
Now, strictly speaking, the moon and the Earth are actually rotating around a common center of gravity, which is not quite in the middle here, but actually slightly off center here. What this part of the Earth experiences is the gravitational pull towards the moon, whereas this part of the Earth experiences centrifugal force. It's a bit like on a roller coaster going at a tight bend. The water here actually gets pulled out. So what we see is water being forced out here, and we get another bulge
right
over on this side.
Okay.
And as the Earth rotates, these two tidal bulges go around the Earth. So that's why we have a tidal period, as we call it, of about 12 hours and 20 minutes. So two tides, two waves, on either side of the Earth. So we know exactly when we get high tide today, we know exactly when we get high tide tomorrow, when we have them next week, in 1 year's time, or in 10 years' time.
Tidal power has huge potential as a consistent and reliable source of renewable energy, but conventional tidal turbines are big, expensive, and at present can only be installed in locations where tidal velocity is very high. But that may be about to change.
So this has got to be our man here. This is Anders Jansen. Now, he's the CEO of a Swedish company called Minesto. They've been working for about the last 10 years to try and harness the power of the seas. And I'd heard he was a bit of a kite enthusiast. What a beautiful day you've got. Hey, man, one-handed, all the tricks.
Minesto's underwater technology is based on the principle of flying a kite in a figure-of-8 movement.
When the tide comes, it creates this lift force on the wing. And by using this lift force, we can accelerate this kite with 10 times the actual velocity. And by doing that, we can produce much more electricity than if we were just standing still. So you want to give it a shot?
Yes, please, Ben. Yeah.
So I'm going to put it up and just release it, and it will go straight up.
Release what?
The kite.
What do I do?
Just hold still.
Kites have changed a lot since I was a kid. Oh, man. Here goes. Okay. Oh, that's not so bad. Whoa.
Now you can feel all that power in every turn.
Amazing. Whoa. So you can just see it's really not a windy day. And it's the actual movement of the kite. That's what's creating the power.
Yeah.
It's the way this power is magnified that means that Minesto's underwater kite can be used in areas of low tidal velocity, unlike any other tidal technology.
Oh, gosh. Just thinking about things in terms of the kite wing, and you said that there's a small turbine that's attached to this wing that you have underwater. You could imagine that as being like a miniature wind turbine, but rather than having it being a static place and expecting the force, the kinetic energy to come from the wind or from the tides, you're talking about maximizing that by actually moving that turbine through the water.
Yeah, and since the water is so much heavier than wind or air, it weighs almost 1,000 times more. And that means that we can get even more electricity out. This is our beautiful kite.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. The wing is really the kite. This is what we use to create the lift force to accelerate this movement. Underneath it here, you have the turbine, which is protected with this duct, both to protect wildlife, but also to protect the actual turbine. This is sort of the power plant. And then it goes down here. Down here, we connect it to a tether.
The electricity from the turbine is channeled through the tethers, along with data from the wing-mounted sensors.
Since we go for lower flows, we can be in much more areas. There's so much ocean, so we can spend our lifetimes, and still we wouldn't have tapped into what the potential is.
So the locals must be quite used to seeing you guys walking up and down the street with this.
While still in the testing phases, this technology's already attracted a host of investors and a team of scientists from across the world.
Okay, you're not from Sweden, are you? You're not from Ireland. Where are you from?
No, I come from Chile.
From Chile?
Yeah.
With German, Chilean, Americans.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Yeah? Just leap on?
While they're still fine-tuning the technology, plans are already in place to build a full-scale system by 2018 that will power 8,000 homes.
Whoa!
No.
The team have a state-of-the-art floating facility in the nearby Strangford Loch, where they fly the kite, come rain or shine.
Is that it there? The little one?
Exactly, that's the one out there. Yeah.
Right. You're home from home.
Home from home, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There was actually a seal bobbing its head up earlier. So there's a great deal of life out there as well.
We want to be part of the environment. That sort of is the goal with what we do.
Minesto carry out environmental impact studies before and during each trial, and so far these have shown no negative effects on marine life.
Okay, we're ready to go.
There she goes.
See away?
There, wow, man. Oh, mate, that's incredible.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my God,
you can see how fast it's going. And you can actually feel on this platform how you're going back and forth by the force of the wind.
Look at that. It looks like you've got a shark on the end of a fishing line.
That's correct.
A really big one.
Yeah.
How does that equate to real power?
So this is approximately sort of a large household, which is not that much, but that's not the point here. The point here is to get a solid technology platform that we can then utilize to scale up. And a full-scale 12-meter wing would sort of power up this whole little village that we see inside of here.
Wow, man. But the guys in there, they're controlling it and actually going to bring the kite up further to the surface so we can have a look at it as it reaches the surface.
Unlike other renewable technologies, which work only when the conditions are right, the underwater wing can fly whatever the weather.
Oh, there you go. Oh man, it's unbelievable, isn't it? So it's very controlled. I mean, no matter how choppy and windy it gets up here, down there it's remaining constant.
The long-term objective is to become the best at what we do in providing people with pure, reliable, predictable energy.
You're on the way.
I'm on the way. We've been on the way for quite some time and we're getting closer every day.